Hey y'all, hey. Thank you for coming back. Don't know, no. Don't know, no. Don't know, no. Sorry. Let me stop playing with y'all. Nah, thank you for coming back. As y'all saw from the title, this vliggity vlog is going to be an update on my luscious micro locks we got going on here, baby. Check it out. Let me get a little thumbnail. Okay, let me stop playing with y'all. So today we're gonna get into these micro locks, y'all. What is my feels, right? So it has officially been a year and almost a month. Okay, January 27th will make an extra month. So December 27th is when it was a year and I self-installed my locks. I'm going to take y'all on a little journey, memory lane, and I'm going to be putting in a little bit of clips here for y'all so y'all can see what I was doing, boo, and how my hair has evolved and come into these luscious locks right here. So January 27th, like I said, is going to be a year and a month that I've had my locks. Let's just jump right into it. How do I feel about the journey? Are there any regrets? What's the pros? What's the cons of having micro locks? Will I keep my micro locks? Or will I not keep my micro locks? So yeah, so let's jump right into it. Okay, so December 27th, 2022 was a year. Then December 27th, 2021 was my establishment. I sat and I did my locks for 4 days, right? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Through Christmas, because I did not go home that year, which I was very devastated. I never not go home for Christmas, but I didn't go home that year. Also the year I got my car, so I was thoroughly excited about that. And I installed these locks. Initially, I was in contact with a loctician here in LA that was gonna install the locks for me. We were in touch throughout the pandemic. And my lock journey started at 14 inches, okay? 14 inches. And I think my quote was, no, it was like $2,200. And I was like, yeah, no, I can't do that. I was willing to do it. And then I was just like, yeah, I can't do it. Especially coming out the pandemic, I was like, I can't do it. So I decided against it, but I really wanted them. So I was like, okay, baby, you know how to do hair. Ain't like you don't know how to do hair. I can most likely maintain my locks too. I just don't. So I was like, you better get it cracking. Okay. So I followed some YouTube videos, saw some self-installed locks, and I grew up doing hair. I know how to cornrow. I know how to box braid. I know how to do all this stuff. But like, I was like, you got this in the bag. Right. So I went on ahead and I installed them. 4 days, 20 hours total. So 5 hours each day. I did it in force. Parted it, blah, blah, blah. Go back, watch that video if y'all want to see my installed hair. I'll make sure that I link it here in this video, okay? So I installed it myself. And then I went to her that January, February of 2022 to interlock them and start to maintain them. So the year with her, I just got my hair retied, by the way. For those of you that know about reties, that's basically getting your hair touched up. If you don't know, now you know. So the roots look crisp and fresh, but they won't look like that in a few weeks. So anyways, my year with her was just this February, January, getting my reties with her. And that's that. Be fully transparent, right? In LA, the price for reties is pretty steep, because I'm in contact with somebody back at home in Boston and they don't charge that much. There's people that charge like $100 or less. LA is steep. Everything in LA is steep. That's just what the reality is, and people try to use that as an excuse on why they make things steep. But that's here nor there. Anyways, to get my reties, to be fully transparent, my reties is $150. Not to mention that you tip the person. So they started out as $125 last year. When I first started, they were $125. Then she went up in price in September. So I was going from January to September on $125 a month. No, not a month. Every 6 weeks. I go every 6 weeks. I shall let y'all know that. She ideally would want me to come every 4 weeks. I'm not going every 4 weeks. From her understanding, my hair grows fast. I never thought that my hair grew fast. But she explained to me that even though your hair may shed a lot and you may not feel like you're retaining the length in your growth, doesn't mean that your actual hair is not growing, right? Everybody knows you get box braids, it starts to grow out, your hair is growing. So basically she proved something to me, that my hair is growing. And that's why she wants me to come every 4 weeks instead of going to 6 weeks. But honestly, the 6 weeks help me, because then that means I'm not going every single month. At least if I see you in January, there's that possibility at the end of January, there's a possibility that I don't see you to the beginning of March. So at least I can hold on a little bit in my, on my pocket, right? Especially since the price went up to $150. You know what? It's her business, right? She got to make her business go round, and I understand that. So it is what it is. It's also my choice to either continue to go to her or find somebody else. I like how she does my hair, whatever, so I go. So getting into like the pros and cons of it all, one of the cons, honestly, the only real con is the cost, right? So fully transparent, because I've had people throughout this year come up to me, oh my gosh, I love your locks. They look so good. I've been wanting to get locks. I'm worried. I don't know if I should, blah, 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 blah. And I tell people, locks is a journey. No matter what kind of locks you got, it's a journey. And you need to prepare yourself. And I think for me, one of the cons is, or the con is the cost, right? Installing them would have been a pretty penny. But I think what's really getting me is maintaining them. So getting them retied every 6 weeks, and that's it. I'm not going every 4 weeks. I'm not. 6 weeks is it, right? It's a lot. $150 is a lot. Not to mention the tip or whatever you give, for the service. It can be a lot. And before I got locks, I was not the girl that went and got my hair braided and got weaves and wigs and installs and all this stuff. I always wore my hair as a loose natural, right? And then another thing is I grew up in the hood. So in the hood, you did service for service, okay? Your neighbor down the street knew how to do hair. She did your hair. Maybe you watched her little badass kid on Saturday while she went out to the club, but she did your hair. Or your auntie pull you into her chair and she braiding up your hair. Or your grandma on a Sunday before Easter got the little hot comb on the stove and she pressing your hair. Or you was getting a relaxer back then. People in the neighborhood did your hair. So for me, paying $150 now for a hair retie seems like a lot for me, because I don't traditionally do wigs and weaves and braids and all that stuff. I had to when I was younger get braids and all that stuff, and so I don't desire to do that now. So that's one of the cons for me, is dishing out $150 to get my hair retied. And I'm not gonna lie, by the time my year was coming, I say about a month or two right before my year, sometime last fall, I sat and I thought about it, and I was like, I love the style on me, it fits me, but do I want to keep them? That's the question. Do I want to keep them? And I pondered on it because I was like, well, maybe it's a year and maybe I just let them go. The thing about letting them go is because my loctician just finished doing this to her locks. I think she had them for like 5 years and her locks was like past her shoulders and she combed them out. But she even expressed how it was a lot of work and painful. But again, maybe if you're tender-headed, not tender-headed, that makes a difference too. But the process of combing them out is like damn near the process of installing them. And I told her, I don't know how she did it. She has people that work for her that helped her comb those out. I'm not paying somebody to comb these shits out. Excuse my language, but I'm not. I'd comb them. I'd be the one to have to comb them out myself. Then that means you got to go through an ugly phase for a whole week because you only get to a certain amount and now you still got the rest of your hair you got to comb out. Baby, I've been done just chopped my hair off and went back to the very short cut that I had years ago. So that's something that you also have to consider because my hair now, you know, speaking to her, my hair now is at the mature stage. Not everybody's hair get to that point that quickly, but my hair now is at the mature stage after a year, even before a year it got there. But my hair is at the mature stage. So I would have to like sit and pick them out and do all this stuff. And so if I do decide, I told myself I'd give it 1 more year to see what I feel. By the end of 2023, I will know for sure, like, do I want to keep locks or do I not? Because the maintenance of it and the cost is a lot. But then I think about, whoa, when your hair was when your hair was loose natural, what was you doing with it? You was over the fact that you had to detangle it. You was over the fact that you had to like get products and make sure that it was moisturized and blah, blah, blah. I feel like with locks, it's easy. So now moving into the pros of this video, right? The pros section of this video for my locks is I don't got to wake up and do anything but take that daggone bonnet off my head, y'all, and I go like this. I literally do this. And that's exactly what I do for my locks. And then I decide where I want this part to be, if I want this middle part for today, or if I want a side part, however I want it, I decide it, and then I flip it, and I go and I lay it down, and then I take this and I spruce it out, and then I spray my hair with the oil mix that I've created myself, and I go. That is all that you got to do with locks. That's one of the pros, right? You don't have to do anything to it. It doesn't require a lot of product. You just use product when you feel like you need it, when you feel like your hair is a little bit too dry, and you go. And it's very freeing, right? You can still do a lot of things with your locks. Another con, though, that I had realized over the year, this is not necessarily a con, but it's something that I was a little like, is that I have experienced shrinkage, but my hair is already that sort of hair where it was shrinking when it was a loose natural. And so I've realized that my hair looks shorter, right? Whereas if you, okay, so it looks like it's your shoulder length right now. But if you pull on them, not too hard, but if you pull on them, you could see that there's length to like the locks that seem like they're, shorter, right? And then, you know, it locks, it binds, it does all this stuff. So that's a part of the process. And eventually your hair will drop, they say. So I guess that would be one thing where I'm like, I want to see them drop and see what happens. But then again, I like the curly look. I like the fullness of them. I don't want them to ever be just straight, bone straight, and like no body to them. So I'm just letting my hair do what it do. That's another thing. Allow your locks to do what they need to do. Stop comparing your locks. I'm in this group on Facebook, and I swear for Jesus, everybody be up there complaining about the ugly phase and the this and the that, and it ain't growing, and it looks too not full, and my hair don't look like this person's hair. Y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta let y'all locks do them. Let them grow into their own personality. It's like a person. Your kid's not going to be like somebody else's kid. Stop comparing your kids to somebody else, right? Everybody's hair journey is different. Everybody don't have the same hair pattern in a sense of what it does. So stop comparing and just let your locks do what your locks need to do. So yeah, that is basically the gist of what I've felt throughout the year, right? Like, am I going to keep them? Am I not, right? I'm going to take another year to evaluate that and see what I feel. I did dye my hair, self-dyed it when I first did my locks. So as y'all could see, the little blonde tips is like straggling on at the ends because it was half. And then as my hair grew out and it did all these things, that's another proof to see that my hair has grown, is that now it's like sitting at the tips, so to speak, right? But I want it to be half again. So I'm going to do another color and I'll reveal that to y'all. And I want to do, yeah, I want to do another color and I'll show y'all that. But yeah, I'm going to continue the lock journey for another year and see what I feel. By the end of the year, I can do another self-reflection on what I feel about my locks. And that's all that's it. I mean, other than that, I really do love them. I think that they fit me. I've gotten so many compliments, so many compliments. And to know that I self-installed actually makes me feel really good about it. So yeah, I mean, I would say get them if you can afford to maintain them. If you can't afford to maintain them and you're not capable of maintaining them yourself, or somebody that you know close to you can maintain them for you, then don't get locks, because locks need to be maintained or they will fall off of your head. I'm telling you, whatever kind of lock, it doesn't matter. If after a while you don't get them retwisted or retied, doesn't matter what lock it is, your locks will be sitting on your pillow. You hear what I'm telling you? So that would be the one thing. Think about the cost and can you maintain them if you're not going to pay for them. So yeah, I just wanted to come and give y'all that year update. If y'all have any questions, please feel free to leave them below. I am not a loctician, but I know how I've maintained my locks throughout the year. And I am always here to answer any questions or give any tidbits on what I've learned researching and what I've learned just going through the motion of it. So yeah, thank you for checking out this video, and I'm sure I'll be back with another lock update. Okay, stay tuned for when I color it, booze. Bye.